What's good everyone, it's Zigzag here, welcome back to another Geoguessr video. It has been a while since I played the road to #1 on Plunkett, and the leaderboard has not changed too much fortunately. We're still down in 26th, despite having only played 20 games or so. So fortunately, the difference between us and the top of the leaderboard is still within 100 points, apart from Nick, who is actually streaking out ahead. But we can definitely make some headway today, so let's jump into the first game and see if we can gain some elo. Our first game here is against Eddie, who is a real life friend of mine and a very strong opponent too. He also lives in Adelaide, so yeah, we chill sometimes, and this guy is a fun opponent to play against. Let's see how we can go here. First one is going to be somewhere in Nigeria. Now we have a bit of poo on the front of the camera, on the front of the car there, sorry, and I feel like that is only found in Port Harcourt. Now the whole landscape felt a bit dodgy to me because I think Port Harcourt is pretty like flat, so I'm a little bit suspicious about that. I kind of want to go further north for that reason, but I think it's like a trustworthy meta, right? This poo on the front of the camera. So let's see if we see anything else here. Okiagabe is also probably findable. So we should use this time to like see if we can find it nearby or something like that. Honestly, if I was sending alone, I would probably just go further towards Enugu here, but I'm going to trust the poo meta. Let's see if it's correct or not. Okay, well, it's just completely different place. So I think maybe it's only generation 4 there. He's much closer just clicking Abuja, which is annoying because I definitely would have gone a bit closer, like in Enugu kind of direction there, but that's fine. Next one here, we got the A-style antenna in Russia here. So that's interesting. A-style antenna tends to be found more so in the west of the country. So you do get it in the kind of Orenburg, Samara region. I think this is a bit green to be around there, in which case it would put us like west of Moscow. So that's a pretty useful meta, this antenna, unless I have it wrong, but no, it is facing towards the right. So yeah, we should actually be good here. So in which case I would say Smolensk is probably best here, something like that. Kaluga also just as possible. I'm not really sure. Like, I probably would have gone much further east just for this landscape, but we have to trust the antenna meta. So let's see if I'm right about that or not. And yeah, it was actually Orel. I would have gone probably more towards where Eddie went without the antenna meta, but that is the advantage of using it. Next one here. Still, we don't have much of an advantage if we are even in the lead here. Next one, I think it's South America or something like that. Although, could this be Philippines? I think this is a Filipino pole made of metal with a hook on top, so yeah, should be there. Lots of corn going on here, lots of palms as well. Definitely a difficult round for Arbitrary World. I think just a Panay hedge here is probably best, probably in order in my opinion. But I can definitely see this being Luzon as well, so let's investigate a little bit further here. I don't think we have any like palms or any pine trees or anything like that that could make us go much further north. So I'm just going to send it in Panay here, and indeed it was further north. I kind of had that vibe, but we are only just in the lead here, very close indeed, 500 points in it or so. And the next one here is going to be somewhere in Croatia. Croatia is not my strongest country. Well, this one feels like you just click near Zagreb and hope for the best. We got big hills, but it's fairly green as well. I think this is the type of round where you're just going to go here, and yeah, this should be close enough, I reckon. And indeed it was. He goes a bit further south, slightly closer than us, but we're still at an advantage here going into the last round, which is going to be Thailand. Is this just Bangkok? That is the question. I think it's the type of round where you go Bangkok, but there still are questions to be answered here. So, do we see any other clues? We don't see any hills, so that's immediately a good start. Yeah, we don't see any like the unique kind of, Bangkok poles, which kind of look like Chilean poles. But it is very built up here. He's probably going to try something. But I think we just go Bangkok here. I don't think there's much more of an option. We have enough palms. It is flat enough. It is fairly developed. I don't love it. Like, I'm going to go outskirts here, but I don't really see what the better guess is. Probably, if not, it's going to be like one of these major cities out in the east. So let's see it here. And it was out to the east, but yeah, he goes for the same guess. I mean, you can't really do anything else there because it has too much of a big city vibe. But it was just in Buriram there. So we do come out with a win there, a very narrow win. So I doubt we're going to gain too many points off this, but let's go and see how much we get. So last game, we managed to gain, I think it was 5 points off Eddie. So that's already a nice start to the episode. We're basically at PB ELO right now. So let's see if we can push up a bit further. This one we have short dashes on the outside of the road, lots of short trees. So I am thinking somewhere in Sweden here. Now, how far north in Sweden do we want to go? That's always the eternal question in Sweden. It's very rocky. As I said, the trees are very like short, so I think you do have to pretty much go quite far north here. We can also look at the road angle here. So it is like kind of bending around to the north here, bending around both directions. We could actually go for something here. Let's see, how does this angle line up? It could be something like that. We need like a slightly different angle here. I think getting caught up in red angles is probably not that wise, but yeah, I mean, this kind of stuff works quite nicely, so we'll go for it here. And indeed, it was a bit further south there. He also finds one that lines up quite nicely, but we take an early advantage, so we'll take that. Next one here, what's going on? Maybe, oh, this is a very hard map, by the way. An arbitrary rural world, one of the hardest maps. Should be somewhere in Greece, although I can still see Spain working as well. So what about houses here? Houses are fairly ambiguous. I don't really know if there's anything to go off of here, to be honest. I'm just getting more of a Greece vibe. Maybe this is like, could be Crete. Well, it's a bit flat for Crete. It could also be Sardinia. That could be a hedge that we could consider here. Do we have any cacti? Because you often see those. I think this is still more Greece than anything. It is a bit rocky, which I also kind of like. It's dodgy though. We didn't really get any confirmation about the country here. Maybe Spain? Maybe Spain? Like these hills are kind of Spanish looking. Still gonna trust Greece here, guys. I don't really feel good enough about Spain to trust it here. And it was Sardinia. That's unfortunate. At least he goes for Greece as well. If I could have seen a single cacti, I would have sent Sardinia. I mean it, but yeah, that's just the way it goes. We didn't see any, so that's why it's a hard location, I guess. Next one here felt Quebec, but we have a Canadian flag flying there, so it shouldn't be. We have a star there, so maybe like New Brunswick or something like that. We have no front plate there, so that would also fit. Maybe Newfie is actually working better here. Looking for any like anything to like those ice boxes to like de-ice the car off. I can't remember what they're actually used for. That's a blue thing. That could be an Ontario thing, you know. So north, like kind of lake here of some kind. Is this Ontario? Gosh, guys, I don't really actually see. Is it Newfie or Ontario? I don't see the answer here. I don't see the answer. Do we have an icebox? We need an icebox here. Shit. I go Newfie. I think it's most likely. And it was actually in New Brunswick indeed. So why did I discount New Brunswick there? I forgot why I discounted Quebec. It looked like Quebec to me. It was right near Quebec, of course. So we're definitely behind right now. We've got 300 points to make up, unfortunately. And we're going into the 4th round here. So this one should be somewhere in Mexico, I guess. I think this is Mexico, yeah. Now, let's see where the sun is. So the sun's actually kind of invisible here, unfortunately. Maybe more so to the north, but that's pretty dubious. I mean, you can just as easily, it's more or less midday. So looking at the rest of the round here, I don't think it's Colombia, but it could be Brazil. Brazil is always an option here, but yeah, the rockiness of it does feel more like Mexico to me, in all honesty. And I think Eddie will go Mexico too. The question is where, because I could see Chiapas working quite nicely here. And Chiapas is meant to be rocky, right? And we do have a bit of rock going on here. So I'm probably going to hedge not too far from Chiapas, but maybe Guerrero. Maybe you go Chiapas. Maybe go. I'm going to leave it there. Let's see it. And it was actually, yeah, I mean, Guerrero would have been better, but fortunately he goes Colombia. So that should more or less seal the deal. But not necessarily. The last one's a hard one. Actually, yeah, this map's always hard. This should. Ooh, is this? Okay, so we got the white car here. We're going east to west, so I think this is actually, I was thinking Yukon at the start. Now I'm actually thinking it's this highway, the one that goes through Labrador City. So do we see any unique meta here? No, we're gonna have to go road angle here. We've got a very straight set here. So I think maybe closer towards this section. I don't actually see the road angle that's fitting so nicely though. So I guess, this is interesting. Like, I think it's further towards this direction. This road angle almost fit nicely, but not quite. So then we have to be quite far over this direction. Maybe this part of the road. Okay, that fits nicely. I think we're right there. I think we may have the 5K here, guys. Because look, the road angle fits nicely on, but it doesn't. It turns around the wrong direction there. Oh, no, it was there. Man, that's the flattest Yukon. I got too held up in here. I should have realized when the angle wasn't fitting so nicely. That's going to be up there. And yeah, he gets the wrong province, but to be fair, like, I mean, it actually was in BC. So yeah, how do you even get that? That's a very, very difficult round, I think. And so obviously it's going to be a loss there after that last round, even without, I mean, it was close. We at least made it close, but yeah, this guess is far too close for us to come out with a win. Okay, last one we lost 7 points off of. I think that's because we kind of lost more points with that Canada guess. But here we are on Improved World, which is a much easier map. So hopefully we should be able to play nicely here and come up with another win. I have to say, I was kind of putting off making this series on the new laptop because it is kind of, you know, it is kind of bad from looking around. I'm hoping to play lots of no moving, panning, or zooming on this as much as I can. Anyway, didn't really come up with what state I think this is yet. We got some blue on the plates, that's for sure. Well, these are in Illinois plates, I think. So, is this actually going to be somewhere in the capital? Which is the capital, actually? Is one of the other ones the capital? That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like this might be like Bloomington or something like that, but I don't really know. What do we have here downtown? Is it a direct north-south grid? I think it is. That at least feels nice. I'm gonna try it. Let's see. And it was Bloomington. Let's freaking go, guys. That is immediately the type of score differential we needed. And somehow I just pulled that out my ass, so that's the capital. It had like a capital vibe. May not even be, to be honest. But we had like at least some official looking buildings, and I don't know, didn't quite feel right for Chi-Town. So next one here, India. This is another one where I could put some advantage in, I reckon. Now we don't have any palms here, so that's interesting to me. Probably go a bit further north for that reason. That might be Hindi, I think it is, yeah. It is quite dry, but it doesn't quite feel, it doesn't feel Rajasthan dry to me. Instead, I would probably go MP. I think I would go MP here instead. But maybe it also could just be like the part of Rajasthan near New Delhi. So I'm gonna hedge kind of northern MP here. Let's try that. And it was actually Rajasthan. Fortunately, he goes Maharashtra, so retaining our advantage here. Next one here, ooh, I was gonna say it was immediately Latvia, but instead we have this white car, which is confusing me a little bit here. So, is it actually somehow Russia? I mean, the houses look very Russian, don't they? Well, that's interesting to me. This could actually be, this could spell problems for us. So white car, I think if it is Russia, it's further towards the Baltics anyway, so I would probably just be happy to click like near Ukraine or something like that here. But could this even be like all the way eastern Russia? That would be wild. It could be, you know. I think I have to go there. Like, and yeah, I don't really know where this is, to be honest. The trees made me feel Baltic, but I'm gonna try here instead. And it was there. This is a huge game for us, guys. We're gonna gain hella elo. He goes Estonia. Yes, that's great. That was a very difficult round. I totally sympathize with his guess. And here we go. Will we actually load into the next one? Yes. Okay, good. Let's try and absolutely romp home here if we can. That's an interesting thing on the stop sign there. Was that like a South Dakota thing? This didn't particularly feel like South Dakota to me, though. It could be. I think it's too many trees. It felt like Texas or Oklahoma to me. But the road's very red, so maybe more Oklahoma than Texas. Yeah, the white things on the stop signs. Now, I'm just trying to think of what they do in like Colorado. Could this be a flat Colorado? Maybe. I think it's probably it'll be a bit of a stretch to say Colorado here, but I would say that I want to try Oklahoma, maybe like a northern Oklahoma here. I don't know. I hope it's not South Dakota, because that's really what the meta I remember is. And it was just over the border there. Really good guess. He gets the state, but I get closer, so good from both of us there, really. And the last one here is, well, difficult again. Interesting little infrastructure things there. This one is a lot of like weeds and stuff. Interesting trees as well. Don't know what continent this is yet. I thought it was Europe. We have no antenna. Where the hell is this? This is very difficult. Oh, that house almost feels like Swedish or something. This doesn't feel like Sweden though, but it does feel European, that house. Okay, starting to cook here. Maybe France? Didn't really feel that French to me, but I could at least see that working a bit better. But what about this house peeking through here? It's like made of wood. I don't know what that means. Maybe Poland. Northern Poland here at least feels somewhat correct to me, so I'm just gonna try that. We'll see. And it was US there, so we, man, that makes so much sense, but I thought it was a European house. We're gonna win anyway, it doesn't really matter, because we got two, like, massively better guesses, as far as I remember here. Yeah, so we only come out with a 2,000 point victory there. Really nice round from Eddie on the last one there, but fortunately, we made the right call on Russia, and then we had, like, such an astonishingly good start in Illinois that it was always going to be basically guaranteed on that last round. Okay, so we gained back our 7 points there, so we are still up 5 points for the episode, and the next one here was against Fire, who is a similar rating to our previous opponent, Eddie, so we'll see how we can go here. First one immediately felt Irish with this kind of house set back with the fence here. wooden pole also fits rather nicely as well as the kind of grass in the middle of the road here. So yeah, this should be fairly simple Ireland. Now the question is, do you want to go further north or south, especially with this yellow plate here? Probably actually Northern Ireland, I would assume, but it definitely should be there. And I have no doubt our opponent with this rating should be able to get it correct, but I'm going to go in on the border here, actually. I'm going to go here, see how that goes. And indeed, he goes in the UK solidly over in England there. So yeah, it was kind of borderish kind of stuff there, and we start off with a nice advantage. Let's try and hone in on that advantage, unlike last time. So next one here, is this... Almost could have been Germany, but it's not. So, oh, let's think. We have time still. This is Russian. We have Russian plates here. And it's going to be St. Petersburg or Moscow. Now, I want to see the taxis, because I think they actually do somewhat differentiate, right? This is a massive highway as well. What does that say? I think it's one of the two cities. Do we get anything here? SPB. Surely we can see something that differentiates the two. I don't know. It gives me a north vibe here, but the trees are particularly tall. I think you have to go Moscow. I think Moscow is just more likely. There's no car meta. Let's just get in here, get our marker down, and say Moscow. Well, let's see. And it was Moscow. Opponent hedges between the two. Definitely makes sense, but again, taking a nice advantage here. We could have easily gone SPB there. I don't know. Moscow's just always kind of likely when it's, you know, feeling so much infrastructure, so many lanes on the road. Russian crossings again here. Do we have any car meta? We do not. And it's kind of winterish, and we have the red and white. So maybe this is Ulyanovsk. I think that would make sense with the red and white on the poles. That is one of the best Russian urban metas. Honestly, most places in Russia do not have proper urban metas, but Ulyanovsk does have those red ones on the poles quite often. So I would say we just go there. Now, what does it say here? What does this say? Can we see anywhere Ulyanovsk? So I don't think we do. Like, it would normally say something like that here. Bremia, Novogo, transport. Yeah, transport something. Okay, so yeah, not so useful. Let's see if it is Ulyanovsk or not. And it was. So yeah, we're killing it so far. We could actually get a really impressive score here if we aren't careful. And the next one here is US, so probably not. But I thought like Minnesota kind of vibe here, maybe. Franklin Farm. That's interesting to me. Honey, yeah, we got like almost like actually Scott's Pines here, so that's kind of interesting to me. This could have been Canada, honestly. That black thing on the pole is not familiar to me. We got front plates here, so that's good to know. Random hills. Could this be Canada? I discounted Canada because of, I guess, the kind of single dashed lines, but this could still be Canada. Regardless, if it is, it's Ontario, but regardless, I think US is slightly better here. This sign also feels a bit American, so yeah, I'm gonna try Minnesota here, Minnesota Hills, maybe this kind of region here. Let's give that a go. And, okay, it was Canada. Makes sense. He goes New Brunswick, though, so it's really no issue here. We should be home and hosed. And the last one is going to be somewhere in Argentina. Let's try and get our good advantage here for some extra ELO. So, West Mountains here. Very dry. Kind of feels like... Probably feels like it's somewhere near Mendoza or further north, but could also be further south with the Degeneration 4. Do we have the kind of railing on the side? We do have the railing on the side of the car here. That's very common west. So yeah, I would say it does feel, but it almost feels a bit further south, right? Some of these bushes feel a bit further south. So I'm gonna click south of Mendoza here. Let's give that a go. And we managed to 5k there. That's pretty wild. Although he gets a really nice guess as well, so it does definitely save some ELO loss there. And just one bad guess. Everything else is fully cracked there. And we get a nice 3,000 point victory there indeed. Okay, final match of the video is once again against Eddie. So let's see if we can go 3 for 4 against him. And it's on my favorite map, AI Generated World, with 50 seconds per round. And here we have a bunch of Paraguay palms. I assume this is Brazil. And so let's see if we can get anything else of use off these poles here. So fairly generic pole all in all, I would say. The road is relatively low quality, something you see quite often in the center of Brazil. But yeah, this is an interesting round. I could definitely see this going a few different ways. So I think my main thought here was Tocantins. We have long grass, we have overcast weather, and we do have Paraguay palms, which you can see in Tocantins. So I think that's my main thought here. But ultimately, it is a bit healy. Like, it is slightly concerning here. I think Tocantins is best, though. We'll see. And it was actually over in Salvador, so very interesting round. Did not get that vibe at all. But Eddie is quite a bit closer there. He's actually got almost 1,000 points on us, so we have to play well from here. Fortunately, AI-generated world is hard, so we should get some interesting rounds here. This is Colombia or Ecuador, based on the landscape. I think that's a... Wait, is that a Mexican pole top? That's a Mexican pole top. Okay, very interesting here. So yeah, we should just be like downtown. Okay, we have a Mexican pole right here. Damn it. I wish we didn't, because if you only went looked this direction and this direction, Eddie could have gone the wrong continent, definitely, because I was about to. But this one should just be downtown Mexico City somewhere. State of Mexico should be perfectly fine here, I reckon. Just with the like epic mountains and yeah, just this like abundance of greenery and kind of temperate looking climate. So that is where I'm gonna go. It is a very interesting round. I'm curious to see exactly where it is. And it was nearby there. So he goes to Oaxaca. That puts us back in the advantage, or actually just basically on the same score. So that's good. And the next one here is gonna be somewhere in, is that Thai or is it Cambodian? Let's see here. Or it's Laotian, that makes sense. And so I don't know my Laos coverage that well. We have mountains here to the south. Or to the east, southeast here. This is interesting. I actually don't know my cities that well. So let's try and line this up. So yeah, we're not actually going to get anything here, are we? Yeah, no, we're not. Okay, Lao Viet Bank. That could be a clue for us. So... Ooh, come on, we need to get this right. Parkse can work here. I think Parkse is probably the most likely, to be honest. We could be like going like that. Now, Parkse, I'm just trying to think here. I think it's good. I don't think it's there. And then I guess the other possibilities are like, okay, we're committed to it now. Let's see if it is Parkse or not. Shit, Luang Prabang. Ah, shit. Why couldn't I see the North Mountains? It's just buildings in the way. That's such a throw. I don't really know Laos. I never practiced it. It's just like, you know, it's like 5 cities. You should just learn it if you want to be good at Geoguessr, but screw it. I never did. Okay, next one here. South Argentina. Yes. Dirty car here. That's interesting. It is very sunny here. I think this might be all the way south. Although, look at that pole top. Could this be Trello instead? We sometimes get these pole tops in Trello. Ooh, this could be an opportunity. What's that body of water to our south? Let's see if Trello has that. I know Trello. Ooh, but Trello does not have a body of water south like that. Could be Rawson. Nah, I don't think so. I think this is further south. I think this is like not Rio Gallegos, though. What about Rio Grande? Rio Grande fits here. I think it's Rio Grande. I get the vibe that this is very far south, and it's sunny as well. Could probably worked out exactly where this is, but let's go for that. And it was Rio Grande, so we're still 500 points behind, but that's exactly what we needed. He goes over there. Fair enough, guess. I'm very glad I didn't go up here, because obviously wherever I was trying to go, like around here, Trello, where is Trello? It's much too warm, but yeah, you do get those like lamps as well. So that was a good guess. We hope for a hard round here. Let's see what we get. Hopefully we can end off the video well here. This is, okay, it's hard enough. It's hard enough. That's good. Now, please don't be pinpointable. Okay, that's, oh man, it's pinpointable. Scheisse. The 144. Okay, let's get in here, I guess. 144. Oh no, it's very easily findable. Okay, so that's to our south. Yes, and we are nearby. Oh no, why did it have to be pinpointable, man? We're probably up in this town here, I imagine, or something like that. So I'm just trying to work out here. Yeah. So, let's see if we can work it out here. This is the main street. Well, the chances of him missing this are nearly none, unfortunately. So, it's very unfortunate indeed. Now, let's get the actual angle here. Just one down. Okay, we should be around there. So, there we go. He gets it. That's really unfortunate, honestly. Honestly, the Brazil, like, I don't really see how his guess is any better than mine there. That's just a random round. That's not looking like anything, in my opinion. Cope. And then I just suck at Laos. Like, first thought was Luang Prabang, but then I looked at this one, it just fit too nicely. But okay, some modest gains in this episode. We were 17th until the end of that game. Now we dropped to, I think, 23rd here. So honestly, not too bad. It was actually a little bit of profit for the episode. The next reset is in 4 days. So I think I might try and make 1 or 2 more episodes, try and make a little bit of a push to the top here at the end here, see if we can end in the top 10 or something like that. But then next season we will go harder and actually go for that #1 spot. Yeah, that is about it for that, guys. Thank you very much for watching the video all the way to the end, and I'll see you guys in a video very soon. Till next time, and goodbye.